allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. I have to bring them every week. All right, first order of business. Not to knock over the water bottle. January the 22nd work session, non-public and regular meeting minutes. Do we have a motion?
I move to accept the minutes.
Have a second?
Second. Go ahead, sorry.
All right, Neil? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye, okay. The Select Board will meet on the following dates. The regular meeting, Monday, February 26th at 6 p.m. And we'll also be meeting on March 12th. The regular meeting, okay. All of the above meetings will be held in the town hall unless otherwise posted. Citizens wishing to be listed on the Select Board's agenda should notify the town hall before 12 p.m. the Friday before the scheduled meeting. New members are needed to fill the zoning board. If interested, please submit a letter of intent to the Plymouth Select Board's office, 6 Post Office Square, Plymouth, New Hampshire, 03264. The town offices will be closed on Monday, February the 19th, in observance of President's Day. Those are the announcements. And we have a public hearing that is set to start at 6:15. So, Mike, you were bringing up a item on cell def. Do you want to go ahead and?
I don't think probably now.
Okay, all right, we'll do it afterwards. Okay.
I'm thinking maybe because it has to do with attorney.
Right, you're right, you're right. It needs to do in non-public. Thank you. Okay, so we have a 10 or 12 minute wait.
Committee.
Oh, okay, well, yeah, we could do. Any committee reports?
You want me to milk it?
I think you can. Get that southern drawl going.
Southern New Jersey? No, I ended up going, I missed the Energy Commission meeting that was scheduled because I had a conflict, and I went to the planning board meeting and we discussed the master plan, and that is approaching, you know, pretty much the end of review of all the chapters, and then we're going to hand it off to Steve Whitman and his class at PSU to make it pretty and work on section 2.
Okay. Anything else?
Not for me.
I attended a forum or a talk by Jeannie Forrester and it was titled Jeannie's Forecast at PSU. She talked about how the new tax law will affect us. She talked about veterans. She talked about a few other topics. It was interesting. She let us know that at the end that she was going to be running for selectman in Meredith. That was the big news. I also was invited to attend on the 2nd of February. Mr. Lee, who's the economics professor at Plymouth State, had been working, or each year for the past 4 years, has been working with students in grades 5 through 8 on looking at, let's see, this year they looked at 2 different businesses, I believe maybe even 3, the Common Man in Ashland, the Flying Monkey in McDonald's, and using statistics we're able to give them recommendations. on things they can do to improve their business or their outreach in the community. It was very interesting. The kids gave an oral presentation, and for some of them, it's the first time they've done public speaking besides school setting. And I was very impressed with what Professor Lee is doing and helping out on a, doesn't get paid for something like that. It's a volunteer, and it's a huge benefit to have the university in our community, to then have Mr. Lee be able to help our students. So I was extremely impressed. It was an analytical research techniques that they're learning, which most high schools would never have any exposure to that, but our kids do. And so that's mine.
Okay. Neil?
I don't have any meetings.
Brian?
We've had some cancellations. Our commission meetings have fallen on some snow days,
Okay.
so we're rescheduling.
I might want to add one more thing.
Okay, Mike.
Bill and I were in Concord recently,
That's true.
and we attended a committee. What do
It was
you
a
call it?
full committee hearing on,
Go ahead. And
on CACR 19. It's the constitutional amendment, consolidated, whatever, report, to consider the ability for a town to pass ordinances specific to their town for, life safety and welfare. And it was a committee meeting that was scheduled for a half an hour. It turned out to be a 2.5 hour long committee meeting, a lot of input, a lot of people in support of the amendment. And the amendment now goes to subcommittee hearings tomorrow at 9 and the day after. So on Thursday at 9 a.m. They're going to be hearing from people that might want to support or not the amendment. So
That's Thursday?
that's Wednesday and Thursday.
Okay.
No, Tuesday and Wednesday. What am I talking about? Tuesday, Wednesday, 9 a.m. And I'm not certain what the committee meeting is going to be. It's LOB, Legislative Office Building, I think probably room 305 or something like that. And that's kind of dicey doing a constitutional amendment because you have to get 2/3 majority from the House, the Senate, and then also the 3/5 majority when it gets voted on by, or vice versa, maybe 3/5 in the House and 2/3 when we vote on it. But the deal is to get it to the people to vote on, and that's what this intent is, to try to get this before the people. So, anything else? Or?
well, Bill and I both spoke, and it was very interesting for me because I've never done anything like that before. It was neat to see how our state government works. For anybody that hasn't been able to make something like that, I definitely recommend it. Yeah, a lot of people showed up. It was very interesting.
Neil?
I have another subject. I've had a number of citizens approach me about the road surface on Highland Street between Broadway and Reservoir Road. And I know that we've been working on trying to get a major overhaul of that road. But, I think we need to consider maybe some short-term repairs or something to... right now, you can't do much because
right.
of the heaving and
the weather,
the potholes, but it's really rough.
Well, up and down.
It gets so much traffic.
As soon as Paul gets back, we're going to be meeting with DOT.
Yeah.
In Concord.
I just thought I'd mention that because I wanted you to know that people are very concerned about it.
They've talked to me about it too, so they get you in the grocery store. They've got a captive audience, especially when you're in one of the lines. So,
John, is there anything that we want to address with the scouts while they're here, or? Did they want to speak before we've got 5 minutes before the hearing?
Not to put you on the spot, guys. Well, they came in and they asked me a few questions about the process, which is good. And I'd just like to thank you guys for coming in to be part of the process.
Was it part of a merit badge review or something?
Yeah, they're working on achievements to get the arrow light.
Would you like to go up there and speak at the speaker so everybody can hear and you can kind of let people know what they're working on?
Just quickly, so we have approximately 8 scouts in the Plymouth area, and actually all 3 of these boys that are part of Pack 56 are all Plymouth elementary students. And there are Arrow of Lights, so at the end of this year there'll be Boy Scouts. Hopefully they'll all 3 will try out Boy Scouts. They're questioning it. So one of their achievements to get the Arrow of Light was to come and talk to a leader in the town that they live in and find out what their job is and how decisions are made and stuff, so they can become good citizens when they get old enough to possibly run for a position or apply for a position for their town and be helpful citizens.
Okay, well, that's great.
And thank you for having them here tonight and asking Mr. Dutile some questions. I think they learned quite a bit.
That's great.
So,
And thank you very much for leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And anytime you want to come back, you're more than welcome. We'd love to have you. And, all right.
thank you so much. I
I'd like
think
to,
they need to get homework
I'd like to
done now.
tell them that we're looking for volunteers.
For
Well, anything they want to volunteer for.
the zoning board?
And
Well,
actually, at some point, I probably wouldn't mind sitting down with some of you guys to talk about some of the things that they could do for volunteer work, because I'm actually not just their den leader, I'm also the pack leader for the whole Pack 56.
That'd
So part of them being scouts is to do volunteer work for the town or for their families and stuff. And
Went through this. I
to
went
get
through the
their name out
Scouts
more
and
out.
Explorers, and it was, it was very rewarding, and it was life changing. It put you in the right direction. It gave you teamwork, and taught you that you have leaders and people that you have to answer to. So yeah, that'd be great. Anytime you want, call the town hall, and we'll get you on the agenda, and we can discuss it.
There was a subcommittee put together a year ago about doing some work on Main Street. And Steve Rand spoke to us and a couple others. Maybe they could get in contact with him.
That's a good point.
yeah,
All right. Well,
thank you so much.
well, thank you very much.
Was the
Thank
light
you for
poles,
your.
Frank? Was it the light poles?
Yeah, I think it was
Street
light
lights,
poles.
Light poles, a few other things. Yeah.
Thank
Great.
you for working with these young men, and it's.
Thanks for your volunteerism.
Thank you.
Thank you, parents.
It's very good, and it's it'll be life changing for you guys. I know it was for me. So, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
All right.
So do your homework.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, Jason. Right on time.
What time?
Almost.
Oh, we
Got a
it.
minute.
We have a minute. All right. You have the exact time.
6:15 by my
All right,
phone.
okay. It's 6:15, and we're going to open up the public hearing for Keynote 603 to discuss Keynote Gaming, a revenue source for full-day kindergarten. We have, again, nobody present here to do a presentation. The State Lottery Commission was here last select board meeting. Do we have any people that would like to speak in favor of the Keynote? If you'd come to the podium and give us your name and...
Frank Miller, and I will speak in favor of and supporting this to go to a town warrant, have the voters vote on it. I think if we get it to the town warrant, the people can vote to allow whatever businesses that qualify to have Keynote in their business. The business people would make the decision if it's appropriate for their type of business and space and so on and so forth. But I believe it should go to the voters to make a decision first, and I would vote in favor of it. And I vote in favor of full-time kindergarten anyway, but I think it's important enough to get kids started at an early age. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Frank. Do I have anyone else that would like to speak in favor of the Keynote? Do I have anyone that would like to speak against the Keynote? Do we have anyone in the audience that would like to speak to, well, we have no further comment. Oh, Frank?
I have just a question from the last meeting. I believe we had the representative from the state lottery system. One of my questions then was, what, if any of the other towns have had this choice decision to make, and what were the unintended consequences or unknowns of why we would not want to have Keynote in our town? So we got to get a perspective of unintended consequences of having it, as much as the positive side of having it.
Okay, thank you. Anybody have an answer for that? Steve, do you have any comment on this question?
I haven't heard any.
I mean, I know some towns did not vote to have Keynote.
Yeah, that's correct. You know, from all I hear, I to be honest with you, I don't hear anything good or bad about it. I mean, people are kind of indifferent to the whole thing. You know, I guess it's just a matter of personal preference. I really don't think it's going to affect my world a whole heck of a lot.
Okay.
That's about all I have.
All right.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you. Well, if there's no one else that wants to speak for or against, I will close the public hearing and bring it back to the board at 6:18. With public
I
hearing.
make a motion that we bring this topic up at town meeting and look to see what the citizens would like to do, whether we want to bring a vote for the following year, whether it's ballot or town warrant.
So, okay, do we have a second on that?
Second.
So it is my understanding that we are not going to vote to move it forward, but to discuss it at the town meeting. Is that what you're proposing?
Correct.
Okay. Everybody's aware. All right, do I have a second?
Neil did.
I already seconded it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Neil? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Those against? Nobody? It was unanimous. So we will not put it on the ballot. It will be for discussion at the town meeting. And if there is an interest, it will be put on the ballot the following year. Okay. Do we have any other citizens that are here tonight that would that have any comments on any subject? Yes.
I just had a question.
Yes, go ahead.
The 55% of the properties we have in this town that do not pay the taxes, is there any way to get a list of those properties and who owns them? And if they give us any kind of compensation at all?
I think the majority, and if somebody has a different figure, I think 40 or 42% of that is university. And we do receive, what we'll do is we can come up with those figures, but I think the last time I saw, before it was something like 49 or 50%. So it's gone up a little bit, but I think before it was about 42% was the university, homes and different things that over the period of years. But yes, we'll come up with the list.
Yeah, and that 42% that is college, they do compensate us.
Yes, I do.
And do you have a figure on that?
I would say, yeah, we have, it's hard to put a figure on it because there's a flat amount, and then I would say we're probably in the neighborhood of 630,000 a year that the school, because they do pay for a lot of details, so it depends on how this thing goes when they have Super Bowl and World Series things. But that's the general area right there.
Okay, and then, now, does the town own a lot of, any of the land at all that's non-taxable?
I'll have to,
Yeah, there are a few properties, but non-taxable? I mean, if
Fox
we sold it.
Park.
Yeah, the town doesn't, they don't own a lot, a lot of the land.
we do have some properties that we have to look at that are behind on property tax payments and that, and see what we're doing there. What we can do is we'll get a list of those properties, and we'll put it on the town website, and maybe, I don't know can we get that by the meeting for the 26th? Any properties that we have, yeah. So we can do that, and we'll bring it and have it back in the back, and we'll also put it on the town website for you.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other question?
I don't think so.
Sir, do you have any questions? Okay. All right, seeing none, and it looks like we have finished everything on the agenda. Do we have a motion?
Did we have a non-public this?
Yes.
Okay.
We do have a non-public.
Yeah.
I just had one more thing.
Okay.
I'm hearing back. Sean with Granite State PowerLink will have a letter for us tomorrow.
Okay. All right. So do we have a motion to go into non-public?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you very much.